Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy AKMans12 here, coming to you guys with some more Black Ops 3 footage for you guys today. The gameplay that you guys are watching is indeed a gameplay of myself. It is actually one of my most recent gameplays, a solo, or not a solo, but I was playing with Never, this game, Doom Never, a good friend of mine. We played Destiny a lot, and this was a nuclear failure that I managed to get. But, you know, I still have plenty of nuclears for you guys today, some with rejects, some without rejects, so if you guys want to see those, just give me a heads up in the comments box. But today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts on Black Ops 3, some of the good things, the bad things with it, and the absolutely horrible things with it. So let's start with the good. The gun balance so far is... it could be better, and I'll get into that later, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, it was pretty much BO3 and Honey Badger throughout those two games. That was the only guns that people used, and, you know, it just wasn't, there was no other option to use other guns. But in this game, there are those select few overpowered guns, which I said I'll get into later, but I feel like I'm not restricted to using only those guns. I can use other guns and still do fairly decent with those guns. Not as well as I would with the Razorback and M8, but I can still manage to get kill streaks, drop 50 bombs, even get close to nuclears in some cases, and I'm pretty confident in my abilities that I can actually get a nuclear. Now, moving on to some other stuff, the connection so far has been amazing. One of the greatest features they added into the game was your ping readings. Basically, your ping shows your connection to the server, whatever person that you're connecting to, and generally you want to stay anywhere from a 0 to about a 60 ping. Anywhere from that range, that generally means that they're within, like, I'd say 100-mile radius, or maybe even 200-mile radius of wherever you're located. Most of my servers so far have been about 30 ping. I even got a 8 ping server once, which generally means that the guy whoever was host or wherever the dedicated server was, it generally means that they were in New York with me. So that was pretty awesome, and I'm really happy that they added that into the game because they're pretty accurate readings. Like, if I'm lagging, I check the ping and sometimes it says I'm at 150 ping, so I know that I'm probably connecting to a West Coast server or maybe even a UK server, because I usually average about 150 to 200 ping from a UK server. So really great job on Black Ops 3 or Treyarch to add that into the game, because I feel as though it's important to know what your connection is. Now, moving on to the next important topic is the movement in this game. The movement is very fluid. The graphics help out with this also. Running at 60 frames per second helps make the game run smooth, and overall the exo movement is pretty much just perfect. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. I had a lot of fun with the game itself. This is what Advanced Warfare should have been with the exo movement. It's not too crazy. You still have boots on the ground majority of the gameplay, but the exo movement helps get you out of those sticky situations, such as the wall running that you guys may see me do in this video. It helped save my life quite a few times, but regardless, this game still goes back to the roots of the boots on the ground style of gameplay, and I'm really happy that Treyarch still induced that type of gameplay inside of Black Ops 3, and it really just makes for some fun gameplay, because, you know, the jumping saves quite a lot of people, but, you know, going back to the roots of Call of Duty really does make this game fun, and that's what I like about it. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it? Moving on to some other stuff. Overall, the kill streaks I don't have a problem with. The kill streaks are pretty balanced in my opinion. The Hellstorm probably being one of the best kill streaks. You just pretty much call it in, fire it, and then the tracking does the rest. I can guarantee you can get at least 3 kills if you know how to use it properly. And the kill streak is just absolutely insane. For such a low point streak, maybe not so low for other players depending on your skill level, but regardless, I think that the Hellstorm missile is a very good kill streak, as well as the other kill streaks in the game, such as the Wraps and the Hater. The Hater is basically the equivalent of the VSAT, and in case you didn't know, the VSAT was slightly nerfed a little bit. Basically how it worked was it would show where the enemy was at all times, and it would pretty much track the enemy and show a big red dot where they're looking, exactly where they're going, and everything. Now, the Hater kill streak does do that, and you guys will see that in this gameplay, but occasionally what it does is it sort of disappears and pulsates off and on, kind of like the advanced UAV from Modern Warfare 3. So that's just a little bit of a nerf, but honestly, I do not have a problem with it whatsoever. I think it was a fair nerf. I think it may have been even a needed nerf to the VSAT, because, I mean, people, if you were a skilled player at all, you could just chain VSATs like crazy, and you guys will see that in this gameplay. I'm getting VSATs like crazy. So overall, I'm really happy with the kill streaks in this game. I have yet to use some of the other ones. I've used the care package, the UAV, counter UAV, and some other stuff. But overall, I feel that the kill streak balance is really well, and they're a fair amount of points to get. You just got to know how to get them, and you know what game modes to get. Moving on to some of the bad stuff. Now, there are some more good stuff which I'll probably mention in the comments box, but for now I just want to keep this video not too long and just get right to the point with the bad stuff. Now, there is an equipment in this game. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. I think it's called Black Hat, something similar of that, very similar to the equipment from Black Ops 2. Basically, this thing is ridiculous. I was playing with a full party once, and we were just kind of going for kills, and I believe it was Uplink, and this guy on the other team had the Black Hat equipment, whatever it's called. Basically, what it does is it hacks your air support or any kill streak that you have, and he was able to destroy our UAVs. He was destroying our counter UAVs. He destroyed our VSATs. He took out my RAPS kill streak, which is a very lethal kill streak. It's basically a robotic version of dogs in the form of balls. But basically, this guy was sitting in the back of the map, destroying all of our kill streaks, hacking them, taking them for his own. And this guy was pretty much close to getting a 1,000 point kill streak just by hacking our equipment. And keep in mind, the equipment requires no kill streak whatsoever. It's just an equipment that's inside of your inventory, and you can use it whenever you want, as far as I know. That needs to be heavily nerfed. There should be a time period, or similar to the UCAV from Battlefield 4, how you can't use it for a certain amount of time. I feel as though that they really need to look back into the Black Hat and find a way to nerf this thing, because if people figure out that this thing is just hacking kill streaks, and people have already figured it out, people are just going to sit in the back of the map for points and just completely hack everybody's kill streaks, and it's just going to be a bad time for everybody. I feel as though you should be rewarded for getting those types of kill streaks. You shouldn't have to worry about somebody who's going 1 in 12 just hacking all your kill streaks. You should be rewarded for your kill streaks and not have them taken out so easily. Now, moving on, there are two guns that I feel need to be nerfed or maybe toned down a little bit. Like I said, the weapon balance is a lot better than I've seen in Call of Duties, but there are two particular weapons that may need to be tuned down a little bit further, and that is the Razorback and the M8. Now, the Razorback, I used to think was the most overpowered gun in the game, which you guys saw in my class setup video, but I'm sort of leaning more towards the M8A7 now, because that gun is ridiculous. It's basically the equivalent of the M8A8, I believe it's called, from Black Ops 2. Basically, that gun, the fire rate on it, I believe it's a 4-round burst, but the fire rate on the 4-round burst is so fast. It actually kills in 3 bullets, not 4, in up close range, and basically it makes for a lethal weapon. The fire rate is ridiculous. You can just drop people. Not to mention, it has pretty much no recoil, so you don't even need a grip on it. So I feel that that weapon needs to be toned down a bit, because so far majority of my nuclears have been with that particular gun, and the Razorback as well. The Razorback's range, I feel, needs to be nerfed slightly. Not the damage, just the range, because that thing performs like an assault rifle in my opinion, and that I just feel that it needs to be nerfed a little bit. Some of you may disagree, and that's completely fine, but you know, the gun, just, it's ridiculous in my opinion. Moving on, I feel as though there are slacking in dedicated servers. Now, there may be dedicated servers. I don't think there is. I ran into a host migration. Maybe they're hybrid servers like they did in Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. They just can't seem to not want to get dedicated servers for some odd reason, but I feel as though that there are not dedicated servers currently in this version of the game, but they definitely do need to add them just for the sake of connection, because whatever they did in the recent update, I've been running into a lot more laggy lobbies. There may have been dedicated servers, but I'm not entirely sure what happened to them because they disappeared after they updated the game. Moving on, this is just a slight little tidbit that I have a problem with, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Basically, for those who don't know, I believe skill-based matchmaking has made its return. Now, we do know that it was going to be in the game regardless, but they said it was not going to be as effective as as Advanced Warfare. Basically, in case you didn't know, they may have, this is just speculation, guys, they turned on skill-based matchmaking for about an hour. And now, before they turned it on, I was running into lobbies with like mixed people who are level 16, level 1, level 8, level 20s, and I was already level 28, and these kids were scrubs. I'm telling you, they were bad. And then all of a sudden, when they updated the game with whatever server that they did, I started running into full teams of level 28s, a few level 29s who were playing already, and I'm telling you, they were all sweaties. And then about an hour later, I took a break from the game, came back because I was annoyed with the skill-based matchmaking and everything, and apparently I'm running into noobs left and right pretty much. The lobbies went back to complete dire lobbies. Now, Like I said, this is speculation. I don't know how the skill-based matchmaking works. Apparently, there's speculation that it's level-based matchmaking, where you run into people equal of your level skill, not necessarily KD like Black Ops 3, or not Black Ops, like Advanced Warfare. But that, like I said, that is speculation. I don't know how the skill-based matchmaking works, because it is going to be in the game. We know it's going to be there. They said it was going to be there, but we just don't know exactly how it works. We'll have to wait on a video from Drifter to do a complete confirmation on how exactly that works. But regardless, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with the game itself. I hope you guys do enjoy the gameplay. I may have had to mix a bit of some gameplay due to the length of this commentary. But regardless, let me know if you guys have anything that you want to point out in the video that I did not mention in this video. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is your boy AK, signing out. Peace!